Hello. I have returned. Hey there fellas, and welcome back to the devlog series on my game Last Hope. This is devlog 33. For any gamers that this is their first devlog, you see, Last Hope is a combat-focused game. The combat right now is built a bit differently. You play as this boy, he ain't got a name, so let's call him the The main goal, I guess, is just to get off the island and take the villagers with you to safety. And that's about it. So you saw the title, and we are bringing back good pathfinding, which is A star, because as you can see, our pathfinding that was handcrafted by the almighty Terratin is very great. This is our makeshift enemy, and it really just makes a bunch of sense for why it's doing stuff like this. But now we got A star back, mainly because there's no time to code our own pathfinding, plus we have no clue how to create it. So yeah, that was a waste of like the past 3 months. We may need to change the grid size because there are a few dead spots where the enemies can't pathfind to you. The biggest spot is currently in front of the blacksmith, but there are a few spots in between objects. Other than pathfinding, we did a lot of adjustments. The fire staff was a bit wacky and kept spawning around above the enemies. So I swapped what layer it spawned on, and now it's all good, and now you can watch the creatures burn. Also, at some point in the past, the options button disappeared, so I set out on a trek to find it. It wasn't very hard to find. The reason it didn't appear was because it was way off in the boonies of the z-axis. So it was still there, but it just didn't want to show itself. One of the big problems recently was the trading. It just didn't work. First problem was that the Unity references were messed up, so it just wouldn't play the animations to open the menu. Then there was another problem, something to do with the Unity animator, probably also a reference. I don't remember how we fixed it, but it started working then. And then now that we could open the menus, my friend, the Mr. Coder Man, made it so that if you walk a little ways away from the trader or villager you were interacting with, it would cause the menu to automatically close, which surprisingly made it feel really good to not have to press a button to leave the menu. How you could just walk away and it would close. So another thing that was added was the status effects. Like when you are slowed or set on fire, a little bubble or a fire icon pops above the character's head. I just gotta say, the combat really do be trash. We're currently working on ways to make it feel better. The thing we added for now was a dash. At first, it was beautiful and you just got stuck in the enemy you tried to dash to. Had a little seizure fest trying to slap it and get out of it, but you also couldn't take damage because you were constantly inside of the collider. Then that was fixed and made it feel a bit better, since you actually dash through the enemies now. Now it feels a little better, but there are still things that need to be added. I had also forgot about the bow being a weapon, and messed around with it for a little bit, and realized if you were moving down or up and stopped moving, the character would try to idle, but would swap between the correct idle, being either the up or down one, and the sideways facing idles, so it would just spaz between the two. But that was easy to fix because it was only caused by not having enough parameters specified in the transitions to the animations, so I just had to add a couple transition parameters, and it was good to go. At the moment, we have the ability to parry, however, it is straight garbage and doesn't work well. The animation just flashes and won't play properly. So since we wanted to have an item in every area, I made a shield. It's not fully implemented, but it will be at some point. Looks cool and will allow you to block attacks. So, yeah. Then I jammed out to my friend's epic alarm ringtone. Me and him were in a call and found a lot of problems in the game, most of them happening after the death of the character, such as opening the paths to different biomes. So we got that coded, and now you were able to open the entrances even after dying. However, you couldn't enter because of some colliders for the edge of the map, so I had to move them out of the way. Of course, after that, I had to actually add the new mountain biome into the game. So I deleted all of those old tiles and objects from the world, dragged in the 3 new layers of the mountain biome. It's not looking too great because I got lazy and never finished it, but it will get finished at some point, and now you were able to enter the other lands.
Hello there.
I then had to update the player's prefab, which allowed you to dash through enemies after dying. And also you can teleport to them if you want to every so often. It's just a game feature, not a bug to see here. And we did a lot of things with the exploding enemies. First off, they would get stuck in a loop of animations when the player died. It took a bit to fix, but because the way they work is after they start charging at the player, there's a timer that starts, and this timer controls the animations. It goes from charging to a fury mode during the timer, then at the end of the timer, they're supposed to explode. But because the timer was controlled by another function called charge, it needed the player alive to keep the timer going. So if the player died while it was in the middle of exploding, then it would just continue to loop through the same animation since there was nothing telling it to swap animations. And then as soon as the player existed again, it would instantly delete itself because the timer was way past what it was supposed to be, which is not what we wanted, so we just had to make a different function so that once the timer started, it continued whether the character was alive or not. And that fixed the problem, but it also caused another problem, which was that it just wouldn't do anything while the player was dead. It just AFK'd with no animations. But that was all fixed by messing with the conditions in the animator. So now the Explodey Boy works very nicely. I just want to thank all them patron boys who have stuck around, although I'm kind of useless and don't post enough. So thanks to the legend of Patreon, Big Mason 23, the Big Boys, 𝙒𝙄𝙎𝙃, Erebus, Philippe Corey, Grizzly, Soup, and Titans, the Rich Boys, Francois, and Michael Zhao. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you're still watching and you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. And maybe go check out some of the other devlogs, because there's like 32 of them that you can watch. They're all pretty pog. So thanks for watching, have a good day, and goodbye.